We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello everyone, how are we doing today? Thank you so much Norrin and Lou Casely for kicking off the super chats. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. My apologies for being a couple of minutes tardy. But I'm going to need people to go ahead and get out their pen and paper today. Pen and paper day. Pen and paper day. I actually met a young man today. Thank you, Jay Park, who recognized me. I was at a Whole Foods this morning, and he was like, "You look familiar," because I had my mask on and everything. And he's like, are you like on something? I said, YouTube Crimson Cure. Yes. Crimson Cure. Yes, you. That's what. And I'm thinking I have to get used to that, because I'm not used to that. Because when he said, "You look familiar," I'm thinking, you don't look familiar. Why would I look familiar? Duh. You don't know why you look familiar? You're essentially on television every day in front of about 60,000 people, and you don't know why you look familiar. That's interesting. Y'all laughing at me? It's like, why wouldn't you look familiar to somebody? Thank you, C. Why wouldn't you look familiar, beloved? Come on. I ain't gonna say that was my husband to be. He looked really young. Like, not teenage young, but I don't know how old the young man was. So shout out to the young man. Yeah, somebody recognized me. I was in the Whole Foods, and he was like, you look familiar. I'm like, oh. You was listening to Triggered Part 1. I was wilding back in the day. If y'all look back at my old videos, I was kind of wilding out. Y'all like, wait a minute, this the same person? This is yes and no. Yes and no. But I have a young lady's video to review is what we're going to do today. And this is why you need your pen and paper. And because we're going to talk about giving up. Now, you guys should know that when I have titles like this, we're going to have a deeper discussion. We're going to have a deeper discussion. I'm probably never going to go where you think I'm going to go. We're always going to go a bit further. Thank you, Hank. Okay. So, just to frame it a little bit, the young lady is, well, maybe I won't frame it. Maybe I won't frame it. My listeners are super smart, so you guys will be able to get it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. The young lady's name, the channel's name is Alicia Renice, the artist. And this was a really interesting video. It's just about herself and some of the things that she's learned and some of the things that she has, some of the things that she has, just some truths that she has come to. And we're gonna take a look at it because, well, like I said, I'm not really going to. Okay.
Under this oppressive system. And so some people push back on... Hello friends, today we're going to talk about the American dream and what it really costs. I made a video recently called The American Dream and Why I Gave It Up, where I talked about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and how a lot of us can't acquire these things under this oppressive system. And so some people push back on the ideas, which is totally fine, but most of you resonated with what I said. And so reading the comments, rewatching the video, it really made me think about the cost of the American dream, the true cost of the American dream. Because it doesn't just stop at numbers and debt, right? It goes beyond that. It takes your time, your energy, your resources. And I've come up with a list of 10 things that chasing the American dream has cost me. And in this journey, I'm going to try to acquire these things back, to get these things back for myself. And I hope that you will do the same. And maybe you resonate with something that I say. I would love to hear about it. Please leave a comment below because I love dialoguing with you all about this stuff. But it's been really expensive chasing the American dream and really unfulfilling. So the first thing that the American dream has cost me is self-worth and value. I felt like I had to be constantly creating, constantly doing, constantly making money, constantly striving in order to matter. Because in this world system, the only people who are really celebrated are people who are 30 under 30 list, or, you know, the people who are millionaires or billionaires, right? And so these are people who are extraordinary. Ordinary people for me don't get celebrated. I felt like if I wasn't doing, then I wasn't worth anything. I felt like I had to earn my rest, earn my leisure, earn my downtime. And in that time, I stressed myself out. And I also looked down on myself because I was looking at myself through capitalistic lenses that said, hey, if you're not working, you don't matter. If you're not making money, you don't matter. And so my self-worth and value plummeted heavily. And you can see it in society, right? We rush to hit the next milestone. We don't celebrate the things that we've already done. We don't celebrate the things that we already have. You know, we're always on to the next thing. We celebrate busyness over intention. Nothing we do is intentional. And especially as Black people, we try to avoid the label as lazy, which was really given to us during the, you know, emancipation period where they're like, oh, you don't want to work for free anymore, so you're lazy. So we've been running from this label for so long. And I made a song about this, how you're not lazy, you're just tired. So you can check it out here if you want to. But either way, I felt like I was lazy. I felt like I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. Hi friends. Okay, so I'm editing the video and I realized I forgot a part. I'm talking about losing my self-worth and value. It didn't even come down necessarily to just productivity, but also desirability and how that comes into play, you know, based on what women are marketed, you know, in mainstream media, like in music or on shows, that kind of thing. And so because I didn't measure up or look like these other women who were marketed to me, or the beauty that was marketed to me, I felt like I had no self-worth. So I thought that was important to include. And a lot of us still carry that weight with us. The question I was asking myself, if I'm not getting a degree, if I'm not getting a new job, if I'm not on the 30 under 30 list, right? If I'm not a billionaire, then what worth and value do I have? The second.
Now, before we move to the second thing, we're going to stop sharing for a moment and we're going to talk. I want to talk and I need 200 likes. So bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got Okay, so come on and hit the like button for me. Because we have to talk about what she said. Because this isn't just her. What she's talking about is when she says the American dream, and I've talked about the American dream when I first started talking about black women as sellouts. Selling out for the American dream, selling out to the American dream. And I liken the American dream to what? What's the American dream? What is it? Somebody put it in the chat room. What is it? Thank you, Undani. It is the lost value system. That's what the American system is. That's what this is. The American dream is a nightmare because it is the lost value system. That's why it's the nightmare. I need 200 likes. 200, at least 250. It's a nightmare. She talked about losing her self-worth and her value. And she began to talk about money, being on these certain milestones, the 30 under, make a certain amount of money, if she didn't have a degree, if she wasn't going to school, if she wasn't working a particular kind of job or in a particular kind of career or a particular, and then she amended to also say it was an issue of her beauty, her outer self-worth. This is why I'm directing this at women, because as women, as black women, living under the lost value system strips away every part of our value as women. It strips away your personal market value. It strips away your sense of belonging. No one belongs to anyone. It strips us of our belonging market value. It strips us of our friendship market value. We do not know how to become friends. We do not know what friendship is. We do not understand those dynamics. We do not develop emotional connections or trust anybody. We learn not to trust anybody. We learn not to have integrity. We learn that other people don't have integrity. Thank you so much, Norrin. We learn that you don't supposed to make friends. You're supposed to make money and all of this other kind of stuff. We learn that our only value under the lost value system as women is a sexual one. And we learn that marriage market value is no value at all. Okay? So we learn that. That is what we learn. And that is what the young lady is talking about in this video. Because all of that, who you are, you lose who you are under the lost value system. You lose it because everything is validated. All values under the lost value system are validated or invalidated with wealth or the lack thereof. I'm going to repeat that. Under the lost value system, every value is validated or invalidated through wealth or the lack thereof. Okay? So this is what she's talking about. She did not have self-worth because she did not believe that she had a value other than productivity under the lost value system. Because if she wasn't making a certain amount of money, and the beauty thing is particularly attributable to women. Men don't necessarily have this particular issue under the lost value system, his looks and how his quote unquote handsomeness is received. But for women, it's a huge thing because beauty is a part of our female nature. Women wish to be beautiful and to be perceived as such naturally. That is what we want. That is who we are. That matters to us. This is why under the lost value system, I was talking about the bad bee syndrome and even old women wanting to be a bad bee, because beauty is central to us as women, because it is part of our nature, and indeed it is part of our value to men. Now, we may not all look the same, and this is the other part of that in the lost value system, is that beauty was marketed to us in a very specific box, really Eurocentrically, okay? You need to be 115 pounds if you're 5'4" or whatever. Last time I was 115 pounds, I was in grammar school. Okay? At my healthiest, fittest size, I'm only 5'5". At my healthiest, fittest size, where I was just athletically built, very little fat on my body, I was 19 years old. I was about 145 pounds. 145, 150. That is ideal for me. Okay? Now other people will say, no, at 5'5", you should be 115, 120, 125 at best. We'll see. We'll see. Right? Why am I saying that? Because we as Black women have to understand that beauty comes from the inside of us. And it sounds cliche, but just listen to me. Beauty comes from inside of us. Because if beauty was only something that was physical, all of these so-called bad bees would be somebody's wife. Period, point blank. They would be somebody's wife. We have to be beautiful inside of us as well. Beautiful women inside of us. That femininity, that beauty actually makes up for any deficiency you have physically. Now, ain't nobody saying have a real good attitude and be 300 pounds. Now, there's balance to what I'm saying. Thank you once again, Norrin. There's balance to what I'm saying. Thank you, M. Mills. And we ain't saying be unhealthy and be okay with that and then think that, no. Right? The beauty, that man has to see your beauty. He has to see you as beautiful. Because all of us are not walking around here a striking 10. And we're not gonna be. And that's not calling nobody ugly. Okay? But beauty is a part of us. And when we're in the lost value system, there isn't any such thing as inner beauty. It's all outer. And that's not even beautiful. It's just the caricature or the fad of the moment. Because right now, little waists and impossibly big butts are all the rage. In the 90s, it wasn't like that. In the 2030s, it's probably not going to be like that. So all the women that went and got a BBL and wasn't trying to keep themselves healthy, gonna have a problem. Moving on. Okay? We're going to move on a little bit. Past the beauty part. She talked about earning leisure. She talked about earning wealth. And not having any value. Like I said, under the lost value system, every value is either validated or invalidated by wealth or the lack thereof. Matter of fact, when we talk about the lost value system, aka the American dream, we're lied to about wealth, aren't we? We're lied to about what wealth is. We're taught, especially women, that wealth equals income. Wealth equals income. How many of you, and be honest because there's no judgment here, how many of you actually think wealth equals how much income you make? Just be honest. Like I said, there's no judgment here. There's no right or wrong answers. I just want a little bit of participation, and I want people to think about what I'm actually saying today. Okay. Okay. And that's fine. Mr. Donnie Mac actually hit it on the head. When we talk about finances as wealth, it's net worth. When we talk about money as wealth, it's net worth. Okay? But we're taught that income is wealth. That wealth equals the kind of job you have. We believe that we can work our way up by working for someone, getting a good job. Getting a good job will give us wealth. And that working for ourselves is too risky. But it's too risky for who? Working for yourself is too risky, but it's too risky for whom? For you or for what the lost value system is built upon? When we talk about wealth in terms of the 10 life values, it encompasses money, yes. Finances, yes, it does. But it also encompasses abundance. And abundance of the previous 9 values. So when we take a look, and I'm going to take a break after this. When we take a look at the 10 life values, wealth is the accumulation and the abundance of not just money. You're wealthy spiritually. You're wealthy in terms of your health. You're wealthy in terms of your family. Thank you once again, Norrin. You're wealthy in terms of your appearance value. You're wealthy in terms of your dwelling value. You're wealthy in terms of your mobility. You're wealthy in terms of education. You're wealthy in terms of your profession. You're wealthy in terms of your leisure, and you have wealth. Right? Thank you once again, Norrin. I think I said thank you, Norrin, once again. And thank you, Philip, for sending in the love from Hot Panama. Are you in Panama? Hey, have a good time. Thank you, Philip. So you are wealthy in all 10 of these areas. You have a mindset of abundance, not scarcity. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this real quick A-game break, and then we're going to let the young lady talk, because we have to talk about this very important next thing that she's going to bring up. And I'm going to let her speak, and then we're going to really delve into it. So commercial break, and we will be right back.
When I'm training for professional competitions, men and women always ask me for advice. To women, I say push yourself harder than you ever have before and go beyond your comfort zone. Focus on your goals. Men, if I am willing to push myself to become Mr. Olympia in 2022, then I only have one thing to say to you. Bring your A game.
Here we go again.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the young lady. I'll share my screen.
Thing that chasing the American dream cost me was present or being present. The presence.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
Thing. And that takes me to the third thing that I gave up chasing the American dream, and that is contentment. There is no room for contentment with the American dream. Everything is about more, acquiring more, being more, becoming more, right? Achieving more, striving for more. There's never a time where you can just sit and rest and be. And if you are sitting and content in where you are, they'll label you as lazy or label you as someone who has no vision or no drive, when really you're just content with what you have. We're told constantly to acquire more house, more car, more yard, right? A fancier phone. And even with ourselves, like the beauty industries, be more beautiful, be more like this, be thinner, be more beautiful. And there's never enough. Like, it's always about consuming. And the whole point of this is because we are being advertised to put money into something because we feel like we're not enough. We feel like once we get the car, then we'll be respected. We think that once we are beautiful in European standards, then I'll be respected, then I'll be loved and adored and admired. But the truth is there's never enough. There's always going to be a reason for them to sell you something. There's always going to be a reason why you did not meet the mark. And instead of trying to meet that mark, I've opted out of the game altogether. And the truth is, we think that once we get these things, then we'll be satisfied. It'll be enough. Once I get this thing, it'll be enough. Once I get this promotion, it'll be enough. Once I get this car, I'm going to be great. But the truth is, we know, just like kids, when you give them a toy, they play with it for about a couple of days, and then after that, it's in the pile of all the other toys, right? It's not special anymore. And the same thing happens with us. We acquire these things, and we're like, oh my gosh, this new phone is amazing. And then we're like, oh my God, we have to go get another phone, right? We're not content with what we have. And when they are selling us stuff, right, they're not selling us the object. They're selling us what we want to feel. So buy makeup so you feel beautiful, so you feel enough. Buy this car so you feel respected. You can look down on other people while you're driving next to them, Get this promotion so that you'll be respected among your friends. But the truth is that you were worthy all along. And if you knew that, then these things wouldn't be so sexy to you, so appealing to you. You would be content with what you have and who you are in this moment. And if you get more, wonderful, but that has no bearing on who you are and the value that you hold as a person. You are sacred, you are holy. you are worthy. And two, that we need to determine what enough is for ourselves. Not what people tell us that we should want, not people telling us what benchmarks to hit, none of that. We need to know who we are, what we like, and determine what is enough for us. And that brings me to my next point. The fourth thing that the American dream cost me was kindness to my...
Okay, we're going to... Okay. Gotta come back to you for a second. Okay. Thank you, child of light of the Most High. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's talk about the concept of contentment. The concept of contentment. Contentment under the lost value system is characterized as complacency. Did we understand that? Contentment under the lost value system is characterized as complacency. Contentment and complacency are not the same things. They are not the same. Contentment is the antithesis of avarice. The lost value system promotes avarice. And the reason why in the lost value system contentment is made synonymous with complacency is because contentment is a part of the spiritual value, and under the lost value system, the spiritual value has no truth. I need you all to make the connection here. I need you all to make the connection here. The lost value system promotes avarice. It characterizes contentment as complacency in order to devalue it, because contentment is part of the spiritual value. And in the lost value system, the spiritual value contains no truth. Contentment is spiritual. How many of us know this? How many of us know that contentment is part of the spiritual value? I need 400 likes. Because we're going to dig into contentment probably until the end of this. So I need everybody's pen and paper out. I need y'all minds open. I need y'all eyes open. I need your third eye open. I need all of this stuff open. Contentment, as she said, is often associated with lack of ambition and lack of drive. This is untrue. People who are content are that within themselves. Contentment is not happiness either. Happiness is a fleeting emotion that you can feel or not feel at any given time. Contentment is a state of being. It is not happiness. Happiness is an emotion that you can have or not have at any given time. Contentment is a state of being. Contentment comes from the balance and the centeredness you get from understanding the Most High. Thank you once again, Norin, and how the Most High does things. Question. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard of currency or when wealthy people talk about money, they talk about it as a currency, as a current. A ebb and a flow, a give and a take. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard that concept be spoken about when wealthy people talk about money. Okay? Okay. All right. When we understand, and we're going to circle back around to the concept of the current. When we understand how the Most High values us, this is in the spiritual value. And once you come to this, you are exiting out of the lost value system. Whatever is good and whatever appears to be bad are both beneficial. Do we understand that? Do we know that? Can we accept that? I'm shy 100 likes. I want to know if my audience can accept that what is good and also what is bad is beneficial. What am I talking about? How can we know how good can be beneficial, but how can bad be beneficial? Because you become thankful under the good circumstances, but also thankful under the so-called bad circumstances, because there is a lesson to be had. And you cannot appreciate good without the other end of it. You cannot be properly thankful under good if you do not experience the opposite. What's the lesson? Everybody thinks that they have a different lesson to learn in life. And it would seem that you do. Sometimes it is. But typically, the lesson is the reliance upon the Most High alone for all of your needs. Now we're going to get into it. The typical lesson that human beings have to learn as we go throughout life is reliance upon the Most High alone. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Crimson Cure going there again. Yes, she is. If we understand that everything belongs to the Most High and nothing belongs to us, then we are neither at a loss You understand? We are not at a loss for anything. It's the Most High that actually gives us the ability to achieve what we achieve. Okay? We're going to take it a step further. Avarice, and this is why contentment and avarice are the opposites. Avarice promotes only the taking and the acquiring. Contentment involves giving. Ebenezer Scrooge was avaricious. Nobody liked Ebenezer. He had money, but he did not have wealth. That was the whole point of that story. The whole point of the Christmas story that we all are familiar with, the character Ebenezer Scrooge, and you know what I'm saying? Because we call people who are miserly Scrooges. Thank you once again, Norrin. We call people who are miserly Scrooges. Scrooge, the character, was avaricious. Here he was, a man with vast finances, living in an impoverished area, and no one benefited off of it, not even him. Because he was only interested in the acquisition, not the giving. So there was no current for him. No current. A river is at its best when there is no dam. It is allowed to run its current. I need y'all to understand the concept of currents and currency, and why contentment and avarice are not the same, and contentment is not complacency. So no one benefited from Ebenezer Scrooge's money, not even Ebenezer Scrooge. And the reason why he had to undergo the visiting of the three ghosts was to teach him about contentment and currency. Which is why when he got done with that whole thing, he began to give. Because what you give is not a loss. That is not loss. If I give someone $1,000, I did not lose $1,000. I'm not even short $1,000. Why? First of all, my understanding of the Most High is that $1,000 that I gave somebody, I did not even give them. That was their provision that the Most High had for them, written for them, and he used me to give it to them. It wasn't mine to give, nor was it mine to withhold. nor yours to withhold, you're okay with the passing of money through you. You're content. And see, we have to be reminded of that as human beings, because money in this world is a thing that we use to get stuff that we need and we want. Therefore, we attach value to it. But I'm going to touch this and then we may go on. But in Islam, and even if you're not Muslim, you should know that we have 99 attributes of Allah. And one of those attributes is al-warith. Al-warith. And al-warith means the supreme inheritor. Everything comes from Allah and everything comes back to Allah. Allah is He's the pinnacle of what a current is. Everything comes from Allah. Everything comes back to Allah. Everything flows out from Allah. Everything flows back into Allah. Allah is al-warith. This is why wealth, in terms of money and material possessions, are inconsequential to Allah, because it all belongs to Him anyway. So Allah giving people wealth does not decrease Allah in anything. I might be getting a little too deep for y'all. I hope I'm not though. I hope I'm not though. Once we understand this concept, then we become content. If I gain $1 million right now, when you're content, that $1 million don't change the state of contentment. And if in the same 24-hour period I lost that million, the state of my contentment cannot change. Because it is a current. Everything belonged to the Most High anyway. He give me that, He'd give me something else. He gave it to me when I needed it. He passed it along when someone else needed it. This is why when we give, you give only that which is best. Thank you, Deidre. Thank you once again, Norin. You give only that which is best. If someone asks me for a piece of fruit to eat, and I have 3 apples, let's say, and one of them is pristine and the other 2 kind of got blemishes and dents on them, which one do I give? Because I want to eat an apple too. I got 3. One of them is pristine. 2 got bumps and bruises and dents and maybe a little brown spot. Which one do I give? Which one do I give? I give the pristine one. I give the pristine one. And never count it as a loss. That's the key. I didn't lose that one. contentment. Everything belongs to the Most High. We are stewards of that which we receive. It is not complacency. So when you content, that don't mean you don't strive to do more things. It's not complacency. It's just that I understand the flow of things. That's understood. And if I only had one apple, food for one is enough for two. Give it. And I've been in that situation before. Hungry. I just got something to eat. And I don't mean hungry for the day. I mean I've been hungry for days. For days. I got a little something to eat. Somebody else that was hungry too comes and asks. They smell it. May I have some? Give it to them. And I'm not saying this to put myself on some type of pedestal. No. It's just the understanding of where things come from in the first place. The money don't belong to me. The apples don't belong to me. The food don't belong to me. The house don't belong to me. The clothes don't belong to me. It don't belong to me. But I am the steward of them. And when you are a good steward, that means you take care of what is given, but the one who give it to you always has a right to come and get it again. The Most High give it to me. He got a right to come and get it. Listen, it go that way even for death, but I'm not gonna go too far into it. But I need people to understand. I knew that I was going to really focus on contentment today. But the rest of what the young lady had to say is also important. So we probably gonna visit it again tomorrow as she continues to talk about the things that she gave up on in terms of the lost value system. And even though she didn't have that verbiage, that's what she's talking about. You understand what I mean? Everything belongs to the Most High. The people in your life belong to the Most High. Your children belong to the Most High. We just the stewards. We're the stewards of those children. We're the stewards of our husbands. We're husbands. Sorry. One moment. My apologies. That took my thunder away. But I got a question. Before my little snafu, how was my sound? Was it echoey or was it okay? Put a 1 in the chat if it was echoey before, a 2 in the chat if it was okay. It did fall over. But I'm going to finish up what I was saying, though. It was okay before? Oh, okay. Thank you, Phineas. Thank you for that feedback. That's kind of what I was looking for. The sound right now isn't like it was before. Okay. Understood. One a little technical difficulties happens to the best of us. Almost like it's a different mic. And it's the same mic. Exact same mic. I don't have a cheap mic. I actually have an Elgato. I got an Elgato 3. So it's not a cheap mic. Did it move by itself? No. Well, it just fell over on its own. It got imbalanced. But anyway, it's not a ghost. Y'all silly. Anyways, thank you, Too Tall. Just to finish up, just to wrap it. Lack of contentment is rooted in the lack of spiritual value. That is why when you're in the lost value system, you have no contentment. There's always more, something else. Gotta keep going, There's never contentment, because if you become content, you're complacent and you don't have ambition. There's no drive. It's not true. Contentment is a very desirable spiritual trait. Okay? Thank you, Banks. Yeah, I got an Elgato 3. Y'all ain't never seen my mic? This the microphone. Y'all seen it? Told you I don't got no cheap mic. I don't have cheap equipment. Thank you, Phillips, and congrats on 59K. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't have, I was talking about stewards. Thank you, Anu. Thank you so much. We're the stewards of one another. Wives are the stewards of their husbands. Husbands are the stewards of their wives. Children are the stewards of their parents. We're stewards. And what we do with each other counts so much for or against our spiritual value. What does that mean? When someone is the steward, that means they're the caretaker. They're the caretakers, Shay. We're the caretakers of one another. My late husband, we had that conversation so many times over the years. He said, I'm careful with what I say to you and how I talk to you and how I treat you, not only because I love you, but beyond that, I am responsible before Allah about how I treat you. I am a steward over you. Allah gave me authority over you. So with authority comes the test of oppression. We can be authoritative without dhulm. That's the word for it. I'm sorry. I say things in Arabic in my head and then it comes out of my mouth. Oppression. The Most High forbid oppression for himself. Therefore, he forbid it for all those who have authority. Thank you, dedicated to my children's future. Thank you so much. They keep teaching the ladies, Crimson. Thank you. And thank you, Miss Karen. So although I have authority over you, and I exercise that authority, I exercise it. But I am to exercise it without tyranny and oppression, because I have to stand before Allah about how I treated the wife Allah gave me. Not the one I deserved, not the one I was qualified for, and I was such an awesome guy. And he gave me you. So I'm responsible. The Arabic term is dhulm. You're going to see it spelled this way many times with a Z. But the pronunciation is like with a TH. Okay? Dhulm. Dhulm is oppression. A zalim is one who oppresses. Y'all like that kind of stuff, huh? I be trying to be careful with that because I know everybody don't understand that, and I don't want to alienate anyone. I don't want to alienate anyone listening. Yeah, it's the same pronunciation, KJ. Dhul. Dhuhr. People will see it with a Z. It's really dhuhr. It's a vol. It's a vol, not a za. That's why when we're the caretakers of our children, you take care of your children, but you don't oppress your children. Allah does not like oppression. We're the caretakers, we're the stewards of them. I caretake my husband. I take care of him. I am his steward. What he gives to me, I cherish. I take it. You know what? I may start this on my Patreon. I really need to get my Patreon together. I'm so sorry. I'm over time and everything. Because I'm in a mood to just kind of connect with y'all. I really just want to connect with y'all. I'm in teach mode right now. It's hard for me to get out of teach mode when I get into it. I need to really get my Patreon together because I can really set up like just hours of content and give it to you on being a wife, spiritual matters, because all of that is the same to me. Being a wife and being a Muslim is that's all wrapped up for me. That's all in the same thing for me. I don't separate how I am as a wife from how I am with Allah. Because the same thing, when he said to me, the same thing, I treat you, I said that to him, I treat you the way I treat you, not only because Allah set you over me, but I'm responsible to Allah. I'm accountable to Allah what I do with you, how I talk to you. Whether or not I submitted, whether or not I obeyed, whether or not I helped, whether or not I supported, whether or not I strove against you, whether or not I strove with you, I'm accountable. I'm accountable. Because the reality of the matter is, I love Allah more than I love you. I love Allah more than I love you. And he told me the same. I love Allah more than I love you. We loved Allah more than we loved each other. And that was actually what kept the marriage together. It was love, but it was our mutual love for Allah and our accountability to Allah, which made us be more accountable to one another and not take. We never called each other out our names. We didn't call each other out our names. I don't care what kind of argument, I don't care what kind of disagreement it was. I don't care what it was. I don't care what it was. Never called that man out his name. You get that mad, shut your mouth. You shouldn't even be getting that mad no how. Go somewhere and sit down to be quiet. Go make salat is what you do. Because you done got too mad anyway. You too big for your britches anyway. Go somewhere and make salat. Because y'all getting can on and it's ridiculous anyhow. And Shaitan is all in that. He all running up and through that. Hush your mouth. That's how you keep y'all marriage together. Hush your mouth. Thank you once again, Noreen. You know Shaitan is all in here. You running all in here. You done got hot. You done got hot. Now your mouth just going. Now you want to say something to hurt. Now you want to say something to penetrate. Now you want to say something to dig. Now you want to hit below the belt. See, You never supposed to do that. You never supposed to do that. I'm sorry, I'm getting into Islam. When in Islam, you're supposed to leave a place of anger. Something get you that mad, leave that spot, step away from that spot. That's step one. Step away from that spot. Step two, close your mouth. Step three, go make ablution. Like you washing for prayer. Go put water on yourself. Go wash yourself. These are the steps to remove Shaitan out of the situation and regain peace after chaos. I'm giving you steps. Number one, leave a place of anger. Step out of that spot. If y'all in the bedroom, open the door. Somebody leave out of the bedroom. Step two, close your mouth. Just don't say not another word. I don't care what point you're trying to make. Hush. Hush. Number three, go put some water on. For those of you who are not Muslim and you don't make salat like that, go take a shower or something. Wash your face. Wash your face, rinse your mouth. Step four, sit. Literally, physically go sit down. Step five, pray. 5 steps to avoiding crazy arguments and keeping your marriage together. Right there. Boom. Then when you're done, then you can have clarity on whether or not that conversation was even important enough to revisit. If it was important enough to revisit it. Calmly. Revisit it with Allah, not with Shaitan. I done went over. If it's not important enough to revisit, never revisit it. Not today, not tonight, not a week from now. The worst thing you can do to your marriage is bring up old stuff. How did I get on marriage? Anyway, how I get on that? And y'all wasn't going to stop me. You just going to let me do it. Just gonna let me talk. Just talk. Somebody do need to hear it. Somebody did need to hear that. See, they did. I have to remember that somebody is listening that need it. Never supposed to keep on talking. I got a point. I gotta be right. You'll end up with a divorce. No. That is not how you conduct yourself in your marriage. That is not how you keep a healthy relationship. That is not how you keep a healthy connection and the love and the care between you and your husband. That is not how you do it. Because you might actually be right. And you know what I found? Men be knowing when you be right. And if you don't do that, you know what they come back and say? You was right. You was right. Yeah, they just come back and you was right. And then after you have to revisit the conversation if it was worth it. And y'all can speak calmly and with love and care and concern to one another with a view of resolving the problem, whatever that problem was. Peace is restored. And then you know what come after that, right? When you married, something come after that. We gonna leave it there. You might need this for what come after. Might need you some A game, some A game, some A game, Bring in the A game so y'all can get back on your A game, right? Cause you don't need all that vitality, scrumph, energy, and libido. You gonna need all four of them. All four of them. Okay? And the only way you can do that, the only way you can make sure that you can get on your A game is if you click the link at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and do not forget the 10% discount that you get when you put in the code Kendra10. Okay? I want to thank everybody for sticking with me through my yipper gapping at the end, y'all. Just got to run in my mouth. But thank you for your very generous contributions, for your time, for your attention, for your likes, and thank you to my team that I cannot do this. I cannot put in this work without them. I can't do it. Y'all won't get a show for 2 weeks relying on me. It's my team to be like, Where's the show? What we doing? Right? And the mountain of support. So I am going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.